Recording.
All right, we're back, and here's something that we've kind of touched on a couple of times here. Is I work at a winery, and one of my summer jobs, my main one, is working in this vineyard. These are not the best looking grapes out here, but it's getting close to harvest time, and I wanted to kind of go back. I'm going to raise my visor here because I'm going at relatively low speed. We're on the Stroker Big Bore DRZ400S here, and you can see all this litter on the ground here. I'm opening up the canopy. Okay, I'm opening up the canopy so that our pickers can get to the grapes, and also they can finish ripening. There's a few wet areas in here, and I can't do a whole lot about that. You might hear that noise maker, you might not. Here's some red grapes here we're going by. Some of these had gotten a whiff of some herbicide over the course of the last few years, and right when I planted them. And you can see that netting in the background there. My final pass through here, removing this material from the grapevines, will result in us putting the netting on there, but obviously with the netting on there, I can't remove it. Here's some more of them, the red ones that have been netted. Why do we net them? We're protecting the grapes from the birds, primarily the it's been a long day, folks. Give me some grace. Primarily the migratory birds. So they'll come and land in mass, and all it takes is them taking one exploratory bite when they're not ripe, and they'll just keep trying to take a bite. As soon as my squawker makes a sound or they get a little bit spooked, well, they'll move on. Or if they start getting hung up in the netting, then they'll move on. These are some grapes over here called Niagara. You might notice Welch's white grape juice, or like just a green grape juice or white grape juice. That's what those are made out. What kind of grapes that make that up? And so we'll be harvesting those probably next week, maybe along with these other white grapes that will go by. You might notice that, oh, there's some bunny. Hello, bunny. You need to buzz off, bunny. I don't like you in my vineyard. But these are really tasty grapes. And, they've got a really thick skin, so they have a certain amount of resistance to the birds, and it's one of them that really doesn't make that great a grape wine, but we're going to do it anyway. These are Traminette, a hybrid of Gewürztraminer, and you can see they're really a lot of growth in there. You should have seen them before I got in there to work them, but that netting's been on there. This will be I think it's going on the third week or second week. I think it's the third week. And they may be ready to harvest this next week as well. I'm going to do a quick lap here since I don't have a on-off switch on my fan here, so I gotta make sure and go a little bit quicker. We haven't made that upgrade yet, but I wanted to just kind of get some airflow through the old radiator so we don't get her too hot. Woo! This is kind of an outside buffer row out here, but we will net those as well. These are some of the older, higher producing grapes, and they got a whiff of some herbicide drift. So I may have to replant them sometime soon. But we'll make one more pass through the vineyard here on the east end. some more of those red grapes. Chamberson red grapes. There they are. So I just wanted to do a quick tour of the vineyard here. Just about 4 acres, or just under 4 acres of grapes out here. And some are healthier than others. This is not the best place to grow grapes, but it is what it is, right? Okay. Kind of a short video. Oh yeah, those look beautiful. So what I'll do is I'll go and take some samples and put them in a plastic bag and mush up the grapes. And I have a refractometer, kind of like what you would use for your coolant to test its strength. Well, it tells us dissolved solids, how much sugar's in them, and I also run it through a total acidity and pH, just do a pH measurement on them, and those are the tools that I use to, other than my taste buds, to determine whether or not they're ripe. But I've been doing it long enough that I kind of know where they need to be. So let's see if we can get a little closer on some of these. Some of these are much more ripe than others. Some of them are less ripe. Let's see, these Chamberson, they almost have like a black color about them, and the ones on the east side there were still kind of red. So that's telling me that we'll probably pick these before we will pick the ones on the east side. So that's kind of the tour of the vineyard, the pre-harvest tour. Wait a second, I could do a little better than that. That concludes our pre-harvest tour of Dewey's Vineyard. I want to say thanks for watching. If you have any questions, make sure and put them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.